Yo, good morning. Welcome to Urban Revolution Radio with your boy Nino on Live 99. How you doing? Let me know what you want to hear. 812-303-5018 or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live999WJCB. And as usual, got my man D Hicks on the right-hand side. What's good, D?
Hey, what's happening, Bo?
Man, chilling. Oh, just fed my belly. Got to clear a little bit of space up right there.
And it's hot outside already, Bo.
I'm telling you, boy. Got a great show lined up for you today. Want to say big up to our artist of the week, Tone G, with his Hit the Road that's been in rotation. You know what I mean? It's been mad with one of the smoothest, coolest songs. What a drivable song. I like this song.
Yeah.
Hit the Road from my truck driving rapper. Tone G, you know what I mean? And if you're an independent artist or entrepreneur and you want to get your voice heard here on Live 99, all you have to do is hit us up at 812-303-5018 or on our email at ninoincognito@gmail.com and let us know with a brief description of what you got going on or a clean MP3 version of your song. We'll give it the once over, and if it's on point, we'll show it as much love as humanly possible, just like our independent artist of the week this week, Tone G. Got a great show lined up for you this morning. Jay-Z was found rocking one of the most expensive watches in the world.
Wow.
At the white party this weekend. Talk a little bit more about that. Plus, a man gets bitten on the toilet by a flushed cat. Now, I tell you what kind in a little bit, man. Make you check the toilet.
Make you check your toilet before you go in there, man.
I'm telling you. And I want to say employees in Iceland started a 4-day work week. They implemented it already. A couple of countries have been thinking about doing that. Japan had been thinking about doing it. Iceland actually already started doing it. Sweden was thinking about doing it as well. And it was proposed around here in America. I don't think that'll catch on.
Never happened.
But you never,
too much greed.
But you never know. We make enough money doing them 4 days. Because you know that's what happened. America has shifted into overdrive. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Plus, we got 24 words, overused words and phrases that don't actually make you sound smarter.
Wow.
We'll tell you which words and phrases you might want to stay away from. Plus, Tropical Storm Elsa is killing Florida right now, banging the Florida Peninsula right now. And I want to know, which would you rather have, rain or snow? Related disasters in your neighborhood if you had to choose. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Plus, in Evansville, a week after the court order, Indiana still has no plans to pay those federal unemployment benefits. Is the state of Indiana technically breaking the law?
Yes.
We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Great show lined up for you. It's the Urban Revolution Radio Show with your boy Nino and your man D Hicks on Live 99. It's been a hot week
already
since past Friday, man, and it's only it's only Wednesday right now.
Wednesday.
You know, so we still got to come, but it's supposed to be raining a little bit later. Then we see on the weather report it's supposed to get a little cloudy this
weekend. So a little rain, some relief.
It's been so hot.
Yes, it has.
It saved me on the water bill too, because I really don't want to get out there and start watering the grass.
I'm telling you, man.
Turn brown.
Right.
So I try to wait till the rainy season kind of like dies out and it starts getting real hot before I start actually watering the plants and grass, things like that, so I don't get them brown spots. But, we got to deal with it. It happens every year, right?
Yeah, around this time.
Same time every year, been that way for years. But in order to fight the heat, Jay-Z threw a white party over the 4th of July weekend. Everybody's wearing white, trying to reflect some of that hot sunlight up in the heavens. But that watch that Jay-Z was wearing, boy, that probably reflected more sunlight than anything else that was going on. Jay-Z was seen in a photo with Quavo over the weekend at the Diddy-inspired all-white event, rocking a $3 million one-of-a-kind Richard Mille RM5601 with a green sapphire. Like I said, if you saw that, if you saw that just in a regular store, you would see that at Walmart, you think that was a kid's watch. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes when things get so expensive, you have to actually know the details behind it. Because if you just look at that, you're like, oh, okay, that's just a green glass watch with a white band on it. Nah, man, that thing's worth $3 million. That is pure green sapphire. What is it? Sapphire. That's what it said. a pure green sapphire that's been carved out with all kind of like sapphire handles and things, and the gearing and the mechanisms on the thing. Oh my goodness! What did they say at the 2? What's happening at the 2 and the 4 o'clock hours on the watch? It's the caliber displays hours and minutes with power reserve and torque at 11 and 2 o'clock respectively, and a function selector indicated at 4 o'clock. This timepiece is the second unique creation of billionaire artist Richard Mille, already a billionaire.
Yeah.
And this first one was the RM056 turban. His first one was the RM056 in blue sapphire. That's the first one he made. This is the first one that he made in green sapphire. So Jay-Z rocking another one of one, standing out. They say that watch was more to show than anybody else. You know, everybody else rocking like the pure diamonds. Right? Everything is like pure white and clear and crystal.
Jay-Z come out with the green.
Bling, look at my green.
Yeah.
$3 million on them, man. So let's say for the previous meal, which was said in a 2019 freestyle by Jada worth $2.5 million. 56 was customized with a blue sapphire case. This one was $3 million, and it took over 3,000 hours to make. So that was $1,000 an hour for 3,000 hours to make. Woo! I'm telling you, boy. Right. What's the most expensive piece of jewelry you've ever owned?
I don't know. Seriously.
Let me see. I would say the watch I got. No, because I did have a chain at one point. I had a diamond encrusted gold microphone chain back in the day that was about like $600.
Okay. No,
I never had no thousands of millions.
No, I never spent that much.
Yeah, but
my wedding ring was the most expensive piece of jewelry I ever bought.
Really?
Yeah, and that was years ago, though.
No, my wife's is more expensive than mine. You know, I just had the regular little 10-karat gold band. Oh, mine, I didn't have any kind of anything fancy on my wedding ring, anything like that. Say that chain that I had, that was probably the most expensive thing that I had ever bought, you know, making a little investment myself. What was that, about 12, 13 years ago, trying to do the rap thing?
Trying to do the rap thing.
You know, I ended up selling, I sold the chain and everything, bought the car. So I put it down
wrong with
the car at least, you know what I mean? So I wasn't going to be rocking that. I had to go to work. So I said, I guess the most expensive thing I got right now is this Michael Kors watch. That's $400 right there. So that was a little treat to myself and there. But Jay-Z putting everybody to shame.
With $3 million on your wrist.
He's just walking around with his arm up like holding the cigar. You know, he's smoking a cigar in the hand with the green on, so you can definitely see what's going on. It's blinging all through the party. So big up to Jay-Z. Let's see if anybody else can top that. I was thinking about getting my watch game, watch collection. It's the only watch that I actually own. You know what I mean? I wear it every that's the only watch I can afford.
Right.
What I mean? So, but I wanted to try to get my watch game up. I watched this trading show in the morning, I was trading stocks.
This morning, right.
And this dude they call the Stock Father. Mm-hmm. You know, they one of the older gentlemen that comes on and talks about some of the stocks that he talks about his watch collection. And man, he pulls them out like every week. He'll bring out another.
Sure, what you got going on, right?
You know what I mean? And just sitting there spinning in the little display case and everything. $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 watches and things like that. So that's how billionaires and millionaires ball out like that. Because you see Jigga in the picture right here. He doesn't have any jewelry around his neck.
No, it's on his wrist.
Once he get to a certain level, you get to billionaires and hanging around them kind of level. You don't wear the stuff around your neck.
No, you wear it on your wrist.
Bill Gates don't have no jewelry around his neck. Right. Jeff Bezos don't have nothing around his neck.
They got on their wrist.
You know what I mean? None of those kind of Elon Musk don't wear nothing around his neck.
Right.
He even moved into a $56,000 house.
And that's being very humble, bro.
Man, super duper humble. But I'm telling you, that Tesla that he drives, boy, is worth a couple billion. That wrist, that watch, I'm telling you, look at a wrist, look at a billionaire's wrist. Yes, you ain't got to look at their necks because they ain't wearing nothing around their necks. You know what I mean? That's people that think that they just rich. Wealthy, watches gonna sell again. You know what I mean? Those watches go up in value. Necklaces don't really go up; they go down in value the moment you buy them.
Gold content,
especially if you have them custom made. Don't nobody else want a chain that says ASAP. You know what I mean? Once you sell that, that's got to go somewhere else. They got to melt that down, take them diamonds out of there,
so the value and everything,
and change it into something else. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. He invested. He's doing a lot of investing in smart things that appreciate in value. And that precious stone, green sapphire, one of $3 million RMO.
And the value's only going to go up because he owns it now.
I'm telling you, he's got the only one, and there's never going to be another one made like. It's handmade. It's not like in no machine shop.
Right.
There's like some kind of the dude was sitting down there for 3,000. If you spend 10 hours a day, that's almost a full year that he'd have had to spend working on just that watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, 7 days a week, no days off. Now, if you talk about even take just the weekends off, you're talking about a year and a half that you working 10 hours a day on just the watch. It's certified that this watch, it's taking them 3,000 hours. I mean, actually doing that kind of stuff. Putting it together, timing and making sure all the little mechanisms and all that kind of other stuff. Because, when I went down to Turley's Manufacturers, it's this little jewelry shop that I go downtown, get my little watches and things like that. They got the little spectacles on their eyeballs and things like that. Work, huh? The lady pulled out when I had I had another watch and one of the diamonds came loose on it. My wife had bought me as a gift. One of the diamonds came loose because the prom. Then they pulled out the big magnifying glass. My eyeball was looking about as big as her forehead. and she got in there with doing a little micro search. So it is still an art. It's still a significant technique involved in making these watches by hand, not just some, Timex that you're buying over at Walmart. Walmart. So big up to Jay-Z. Hopefully I can get my watch game up and get me something like that. One day, probably, I ain't even going to put a limit on myself. I can get me a $3 million watch if I hit it right in the stock market. We'll see. What's the most expensive piece of jewelry you've ever owned or still own? Let us know, 812-303-5018 on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live999. WJCB. Man, remember back in the day when people used to flush, the fish and the lizards and the little
from the carnival and stuff like that.
Talking about one of them was gonna come back up the toilet and all that kind of other stuff. Did you ever find yourself looking at the toilet to see if anything was ever floating in it before you sat down?
No.
They never scared you like I used to as a kid. Because I used to have neighbors, in the projects. I grew up in the project that we had those kind of pets. One of my best friends used to always collect those kind of pets. Snakes, garter snakes in the grass and all that kind of stuff. We go out into the little back of the woods and stuff like that. He always picking up some kind of little slimy critter, taking it back. Always had some kind of pet going on, and flushing them down the toilet. The fish, guppies, gators, when they get out of hand, things like that, something will just die. Think they did. They probably and flush them down the toilet. Sometimes we used to think this thing was coming back up the toilet. What was that? Was it Goonies? Was that the movie? Was it Ghoulies? Remember Ghoulies? The movie where the monster came back up the toilet and poked his head with it. And now I think that kind of kicked off a nightmare. I'm a very visual kind of person. That's why I don't do like horror movies and things like that. You know what I mean? I prefer, comedies and cartoons, because when I see something visual and I try to go to sleep right after that, I end up dreaming about that kind of stuff, nerds, and I don't like that. But especially this kind of flushing the gator or the snake down the toilet, I was always nervous about that. I've had these kind of the water beetles and stuff when it rained, a little water beetle. I found one in my lifetime, one or two that have actually crawled up through the toilet. They can live. I never seen water. They live in water. They can live in water and hold their breath and stuff like that. But it's a monster to fight that current. To try to climb back up. So that boy really wanted to
come back up to the top.
Man, imagine having to open your toilet lid and seeing a python.
Wow.
In your toilet. Would you use that toilet ever again?
No.
A man in Australia was bitten on the balls.
Oh, wow.
Bitten on his genitalia by a python when he was sitting on the toilet.
Bit on his excuse my language. Oops, you gotta bleep that out, bro.
Yeah, man.
You gotta bleep that one out.
I'm telling you, it got him. It did.
Oh, wow.
After it was believed that the reptile escaped its neighbor's home and slithered through the drain, police said. The 65-year-old man was nipped by by the 5-foot-long albino reticulated python. Good thing it wasn't a poisonous snake. You know, I mean, pythons are not poisonous. They are constrictors. They wrap around. Man, can you imagine if it would have wrapped around his sack and just start pulling it? Oh my God! Oh my God! It bit him on, but it bit him when he saw his little hanging danglers. When it came up through the toilet, caught him. And the man said shortly after he sat on the toilet in the residence by his own account, he felt a pinch.
Wow.
In the area of his genitalia. The snake, a non-venomous constrictor native to Asia, can be reportedly grow up to 29 feet long, but the one in his toilet was only about 5 feet long.
So his stuff is going to swell.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
my goodness.
He got the bite. You know what I mean? It wasn't poisonous, though. You know what I mean?
I know it, though, but still, homie.
Hey, with that reptile thought he had something. You know what I mean? Man. You're like, what's that? Hey, caught him with it. Oh, it said the reptile apparently escaped from a neighbor's apartment and may have reached the man's toilet through the drains. And although its exact route wasn't exactly clear, you can tell the neighbor had acknowledged that was his pet. You know, they stay in the same building, so it can be easy to find. All you have to do is just trace the pipes. Any plumber can tell you like whatever the layout of the pipes are in the building, how the toilet work, where it did. It probably got crawled into the toilet. Right. You know what I mean, from the owner's home, crawled in itself, trying to look for something, and just take a stake and hold their breath for a very long time. They're reptile. They do have to breathe, but they can't.
Hold their breath
for a long time.
Right.
And so it traveled its way on through till it saw daylight again. It came out of somebody else's toilet and was like, "Let me out of here! Let me out of here!" You know what I mean? So. Woo, have you ever found anything else? Oh, it said the man's neighborhood. They said this dude had 11 constrictors in his apartment.
Right.
A gecko, tarantulas, and kept them inside drawers inside his house. So he didn't have them like... He
didn't have them secured at all, man.
They just crawling and slithering all over his crib, and just one of them just having to get into the toilet and going into somebody. Man, I don't know what the laws are in Australia, boy, but I'll be man, it'd be one right now. I tell you that, Joe. Have you ever seen anything floating in your toilet that shouldn't have been there, that you didn't put there yourself? Have you ever seen like any kind of animal, a reptile, or a gator floating up in your toilet or through your drain? Let us know, 812-303-5018, or on our Facebook page, Facebook.com/live999WJCB. Wish we had it as good in Iceland right now. Iceland has started, not only they, got their little pandemic under control and everything, they got the stimulus going out, free college, free hospitalization. Y'all like, now they even going so far as to take one work week off the calendar. They're going down to a 4-day work week officially. So I really wonder how that's going to, affect the world economy. I know Iceland is really not that big.
Right, it's not a big country,
man. You know what I mean? But, a lot of countries are really probably going to try to follow suit. A lot of more socialist, I think, leaning type countries are going to try to. Right. I really don't think that'll catch on here in America.
No.
I used to think about that. Remember George Jetson, the Jetsons back in the day?
Yeah.
Jetsons used to work that 4-day work week. That used to kill George Jetson. Remember he say, "Oh my goodness, punching the button." That's the kind of job I got. I don't like being there. I've always wanted that job. I just need the flying car right now. If I could get the flying car, I'd be straight black George Jetson for real. But that's what they're working on right now. A 4-day work week. Researchers in Iceland have found that a 4-day work week without a pay cut, this time on salaried employees, you know what I mean? People making that same $15, $20, $30 an hour kind of thing without a pay cut. You know what I mean? Just redistribute the hours. You know what I mean? If they split that 35, 36 hours up in between 4 days instead of 40 for 5 days, they just reduce 4 hours, and it's a 9-day work week a 9-hour day with an hour lunch or whatever they do it. They think they get paid lunches as well on that. But you get 9 hours a day for 4 days, which is that 36 hours a day. Right. And they said they did that with over 2,500 employees who reduced their work week.
And got more productivity, didn't it?
And it said the worker well-being dramatically increased across a range of indicators from perceived stress and burnout to health and work-life balance.
I believe that because they're looking forward to getting off and enjoying that 3-day week. Weekend.
Right. You're more refreshed when you come back, especially if it's a job that you actually look forward
to going to, right.
Now, like I say, with me as a stock trader, 3-day work weeks, like this long weekend we just had, for the 4th of July weekend, there was no trading on Monday. I get a little nervous on that.
Right.
I get anxious. I want to trade. I want to, when you like your job, you want to go
out there and
I like recording the show. That's what he was like. You don't want to just take the 4th off. No, man, we do the show anyway. I like doing it because when you like doing what you do, you never really work a day in life. Things like that.
Right.
So now they got one less day to do it in, so I think
that's awesome, but we'll never catch on
to who have very high labor intensive job, maybe mentally intensive jobs, things like that, to have to work those factories and things like that. But I think if you're really one of those business owners or self-employed people or somebody that just really likes to go to work, that might be a detriment, because that's just one less day you have to do what it is that you like to do. But in the inverse, you get another day to take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
You can go out and spend some time with the family. Another day to just chill out in your living room, watch the TV, maybe get some housework done, things like that. When you still don't have to worry about your bills getting paid because the money isn't slack. Iceland still kept the same base pay and things like that for them. That they still be able to maintain this close to their annual salary from a 36-hour work week from a 40-hour work week to a 36-hour work week, which is only 4 hours different. Less than an hour a day was taken away and shifted.
And
and combined into 4 days. Right. Now you got a whole day off. That's a chill. It's the productivity, and they said the productivity did not suffer at all.
Wow.
So in Iceland, on average, most employees work 40 hours a week, and it's illegal to work more than 13 hours in one single day. So a lot of, that would be unheard of here in America.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people that work 12, 14, 16 hours.
5 days, 6 days a week, bro.
Man, and trying to get that bread. They love that overtime. What I mean? But in Iceland and things like that, nope, it's illegal to even do that. They do not work or burn out. They don't want people spending the majority of their lives worrying about going to work. They're a real socialist kind of economy. They don't pay medical insurance fees and things like that. Their schooling is free, insurance is free, college is free, all that kind of stuff that we think that we want to pay directly out of our pocket. But let me decide how much I want to pay for college. If I want to go to $100,000 a year college, or if I want to go to a 2,000 year community college, that's up to me. But if all college was free, you could go to the college of your choice, right? No matter where you want to go, because the book should automatically be the same. College is really for what they say the collegium. It's for networking. You're supposed to go there and meet people and network and build foundations and connections over a lifetime, for people to help each other out. I got my buddies that work in car shops and buddies that work in the hospital. I got my buddies that work, USI, Chicago State University. That's what college is about. Because you can learn anything, just like on YouTube or just go to the library and encyclopedia a certain subject about anything. You can teach yourself and hold to yourself. But about going to college, it's about the collectivity of it, the networking of it, the meeting people of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what that people are saying that they need to get back to taking care of themselves. Instead of working just to go to work. And you spend like 75% of your life,
working a job,
somebody else rich. Just to get like 10 good years left after you're
of your life, after you retired, man. That's crazy.
So they're giving them that day back. On the front, Iceland is doing it right now. So we'll see. I think Japan was thinking about doing it. Mexico has something. Spain has like the siesta, the 2-hour siesta, in the middle of the day. So a lot of other non-republic democratic countries, if you want to call them communists or socialists and things like that.
Socialist countries.
That way. They have those less labor-intensive economies because everybody else is, they're paying into the economy. Taxes are a lot higher out of those checks, but those taxes go to actually take care of the collective needs. Right. Roads are already, all don't have no potholes.
No potholes.
You can do 100 miles an hour on the Autobahn because it's taken care of.
Because it's taken care of. Colbert Avenue, another thing though.
I'm telling you, boy, you better hope you don't break an ankle walking down Colbert Avenue right now.
What you said.
So just the differences in the way that they handle employer relations in other countries, their economies, in other countries, whether you think the Democratic Republic style of the American capitalist economy is the way to go. It's just not the only way. To go. What is it? Many different ways to skin a cat. So we'll see how this works out with the Iceland population. I wouldn't mind having a 4-day work week.
Right. What is the population of Iceland anyway?
By the time of this report, say population of Iceland. Oh, no, that was the population of the workforce. Let's check it out.
I just want to be curious to see if it equals out to maybe the size of one of our states.
Let's see. What is the population of Iceland?
Here is some information about Iceland. Iceland, a Nordic island nation, is defined by its dramatic landscape with volcanoes, geysers, hot springs, and lava fields.
Population 356,991 as of 2019. So less than 400,000.
Less than 400,000. So it's a small country. They're self-sufficient.
Small city.
Right. Small city, but they're still
almost the size. I would say Evansville, because Evansville is about 300 and something thousand people here.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the population? Let's see if we can do it this way. What's the population of Evansville, Indiana?
In 2019, the population of Evansville was 118,588.
Oh, 100? Really?
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Why was I thinking Evansville was a lot bigger than that? I thought Evansville had like 300-some thousand people here. Okay, I guess not. Well, I guess we're the third of the size of Iceland.
Right,
so I guess 3 Evansvilles. Evansville, Henderson, Newburgh,
yeah,
maybe Owensboro thrown in there.
Right. I was just curious though, because they're just self-sufficient. They're investing in their own country.
Oh yeah, they're big on the education aspect. So they invest in the people side of their economy,
right?
Not
so
just the dollar side.
There you go.
Of the economy.
That's what I was saying.
We'll see how it works out. Good one, Iceland. And see, he says it's already bringing relief to a lot of people, and a couple other countries are going to follow. But I really don't think America will follow that suit. Do you have a 4-day work week? If you don't have one, if you work 5 days or more a week, would you mind? Would you want to reduce your workload to a 4-day work week if you could get the same or close to amount of pay? Let us know, 812-303-5018, or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live999WJCB. We was talking about earlier today, certain words, that people fall back on when they're talk. I say, a lot.
Right.
If you ever listen to the show, you can hear me say that. You're going to hear me say it from now on. It's going to be stuck in your head. You're going to wait to count how many times I say, during the show. During the show. But there are other phrases like,
right,
duh, this noises that a lot of people make.
Is that what this is?
But these are actual phrases.
Oh, wow.
That a lot of people use. Because I think my son Robert, he says apparently a lot. When he's telling you a story, he say, well, apparently such and such and such and such and such. And I noticed that about everybody has their little catchphrases or something, that they fall back on when they need their brain to take a pause. Or when some people just do it to try to make themselves sound more
educated, right?
Bro. And it's putting extra words. One of my college words that I learned, superfluous.
Never heard of it.
Means extra. Unnecessary.
Okay.
Flour too much on top. Superfluous. Adding to the, to try to add to the meaning, think it's going to make it more pronounced, more effective, like saying 3 a.m. in the morning, when a.m. means in the morning. Right. So just pick one.
Say 3 in the morning
or 3 a.m. We're saying 3 a.m. in the morning. That's, what they would say redundant. You don't need to add that
it's 3
extra on there. Absolutely essential. It's either essential or it's absolute. The word essential means it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
So saying absolutely essential, meaning you're just saying absolutely necessary. You're saying absolutely twice.
Adding more extra to
so you don't really need to say that. Extra words that don't need to be there. The actual fact, as opposed to the unactual fact. Right. Don't need to say actual fact. It's just the fact. There's no other thing. When they was going with Donald Trump talking about what he say, before the fake news, alternative facts. Remember that phrase that was going around in the news? Alternative facts. Right. There's no such thing as an alternative fact. A fact is something that can't be disputed. It's agreed upon by all parties involved, like water is wet. That is a fact. There's no disagreeing with it. Now, whether or not you want to discuss what color the water is,
that's different.
Depending on where you're at. It can range from brown to blue to green, but it's all wet. That is the fact. You don't need to say actual fact.
Right.
Or at this point in time, or at the present point in time, which is just a long way of saying now. At this point in time, we would like to discuss blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Don't say that. Just say, right now, we'll be talking about
this.
Just these extra words
that don't need
it. Do you have any kind of fallback words that you find yourself using?
Man, I just say what comes to the top of my head, bro.
Really?
I freestyle when I speak. It don't.
You don't have the or duh or the nah mean or anything like the fallback phrase like I do.
I might say that's what's up.
That's no, I heard you. You said there it is.
There it is.
That's your word. That's your word. There it is.
There it is.
But you say that is more of a pointing out of a fact that somebody says, "Oh, there it is." But not as when I say, "Nah, I mean," it's kind of like a catch between two phrases,
right?
Just to try to keep the flow going. And that's what a lot of people do when they say, or duh, or you know what I mean, or Judge Judy. Have you ever watched Judge Judy?
Been a while.
When people say, so she flips out. But then she asks the question, they say, it's not an answer. Oh, wow. My goodness. He was like the worst English teacher ever, but you couldn't say, around Judge Judy. She'll throw the case out. See? Whether you was right or wrong, she don't want to hear that. So just certain phrases that a lot of people try to use that are unnecessary. Say, let's see. They had other. I don't say that in close proximity. In my opinion, I do say that a lot. In my opinion, because sometimes when you're on air or when you do YouTube broadcasts, like a lot of the trade shows that I watch, they have to say, in my opinion, because they don't want
to be given partial to
right. They don't want to be known they're taking sides. They don't want to be.
So that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with it. Or you can just say my opinion is.
Yeah, they have to say in my opinion.
Right.
But this one is saying when you're sharing a perspective or insight, readers will already get the concept in your opinion. So they saying writing it or putting it in a written text is unnecessary because it's your opinion. We know that because you're writing it.
Right.
But sometimes it has to be used as a disclaimer because you don't want to be telling people what to do. In certain situations, you can't, what they say, a call to action in the radio and entertainment business. You can't, some things are a call to action. If you're doing like a commercial or promo spot, you say, hey, come on down to such and such a place and get our discount. That's a call to action. Tell them to do that. Well, this place is the best place. Blah, 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 blah.
In my opinion,
you're making a declaration,
right? Saying,
but when you say "in my opinion," that's just me. Then you can get away with it because, like when we're doing for the radio station or you doing for another business, when you make a statement or a broadcast statement, you can be associated with the higher business, and that business. A lot of you ever seen on TV shows, they say the views and opinions expressed on this TV show are not necessarily those
reflect the views.
Right, so they have to make that disclaimer sometimes when you're doing broadcasting.
Right.
So in written text and written phrases, they say that's unnecessary. You don't have to use that another unnecessary phrase, in my opinion, because it is your opinion because you're writing it. So do you have an unnecessary phrase that you like to use? Are you an or an or you know what I meaner? Let me know. 812-303-5018 or on our Facebook page, Facebook.com/live999WJCB. What's your catchphrase? Man, Florida getting beat up right now.
Man.
With the tropical storm Elsa that's, killing it down there, and it comes around every year, some new storm with another name. They back around to the E's now. They go in alphabetical order.
Right.
Usually. So E is already done in the hurricane tropical storm season. That's at least 5 of them. A, B, C, D. Yeah, that's number 5. Wow. Had to do my alphabets real quick.
Right.
Yeah, but that's number 5, I guess. They always do it with the
alphabet.
The alphabets and give them female names and things like that.
I don't know why they give them female names for.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Please
a man had to come up with that.
Yeah, wow.
Some man back in the day was mad at his girlfriend and mad at his wife and started naming the hurricane and named the first one after his girlfriend and some ex-girlfriend. That's why there's some more misogynistic stuff. It's a real explanation behind it.
In my opinion.
That's right. All those views expressed here on the Live 99 on the Urban Revolution radio show are not necessarily those of the Live 99 management. Oh my God. But yeah, Tropical Storm Elsa is pounding Florida right now. Tearing it up, the waves is bashing and all that good stuff. But no matter what part of the country that you're in, there's usually some kind of natural obstacle, natural disaster, natural whatever that has to be faced. Whether you're on the southern coast, with the heat that Texas and Arizona and things like that got to face, and hurricanes even in Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, got to face. But then you come up the East Coast, you got the hurricanes, and then further up north, you got snowstorms and ice, and then you got earthquakes over on the West Coast in California, and like 6 months of rain out in Oregon and Washington over in the upper West Coast. You know what I mean? It's just cloudy and rain for almost 6 months out of the year, like almost in England. They got cloudy and bummy weather. So everywhere you go, it's going to be some kind of natural obstacle that you're going to have. Even in the middle of the country right now, like in Oklahoma, Colorado, Wyoming, they get the Dust Bowl, those, that's desert basically out there. They get those, just no rain whatsoever. The ground starts coming up, though, the dust storms back in the middle of the Dust Bowl. Back in the day in American history, what was that? Was that
the Dust Bowl?
Was that 1920s, I believe it was?
Oklahoma,
or was it 1820s? Am I thinking the right century?
Was that in Oklahoma?
Yeah, it was the Oklahoma, that whole little Midwest, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Colorado little area where it was like 80% of the farmland was, dried up because the rain wouldn't come and all that, and it just started blowing the dust, blowing the topsoil away, killing all the crops, and that was just what they had to go through. And it happens, happens often, depending on how often it rains in that area. That's basically desert area over there, especially when you get, all the way towards Nevada, Arizona, I'm stationed down there in San Diego near 29 Palms. It would get like 110, 115 degrees.
Couldn't deal with that.
They used to call them Black Flag days, when you couldn't go outside, do any kind of training or anything like that. They make you stay inside in the air conditioning until further notice. Down in Texas, even the project buildings down there, you have to have air conditioning down there. You can't even build a unit. You have to put even at least a window air conditioner in a unit before you can rent it out because it gets so hot down there.
In Texas,
in Texas, down there, Houston especially, had those kind of Black Flag days. But then when you get more toward the east, it starts getting more wet. The rain starts coming in, the hurricanes start coming in, tornadoes, tropical storms start coming in, all that good stuff. But then move up toward the Midwest, that's when the snow starts coming in. You get the
But I prefer snow.
You prefer the snow over the rain?
It just depends on time of year it is.
Honestly,
doesn't make any sense.
If you could honestly pick if you had to pick where you live based on the natural disaster that you had to face.
I'm cool with the Midwest, man, because I like the mixture of weather.
You like the mixture right now? Because we here in Indiana, we do get like a mix of everything.
We get a mixture of everything, all 4 seasons.
In the single week, it'll be raining, then it'll turn to snow, and then it'll turn to sleet, then it'll get real hot, then by the end of the night, it's like 30 degrees in the overnight, so it gets crazy because we're right here in the middle, but I'm from Chicago up north. We had to deal with the snow. And me personally, I would rather deal with a blizzard than a hurricane.
Right.
Honestly. I really
yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, cause you got to do all that water and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the water is pervasive.
Right.
Yeah, water get in everything. You know what I mean? When it starts flowing,
It's coming, Jack.
Stuff away. Snow really don't carry stuff away in like city things and city turns unless it's an avalanche. There's no mountainous areas in Chicago. We didn't have to worry about avalanches and things like that. The worst we had to worry about was if you lived closer toward the lakefront and your car was parked that way and it splashed up, your car turned into an igloo.
Oh,
that was it. It would freeze. Man, you ain't seen so many pictures of like the.
No, I haven't.
Oh man, I gotta show you that one day. They're like ice. They look like ice sculptures. Cars that are parked near the lakefront in Chicago during the wintertime when that wave starts crashing up along the wall.
It just freezes up.
And just comes over and cascades and freezes right on top of the car.
But like people would know that before they park their car.
It's hard to predict when it's going to happen. You know, Chicago, you got to park somewhere in Chicago.
Right.
They know it's like, oh man, I got to park here. Oh, I hope the water don't come. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you really never know. But in the wintertime, you just got to deal
Take
with
that chance.
you know? But at least you know if your car's stuck in ice, it's still going to be there in the morning. It's
yeah,
not like
true.
You gotta
Nobody gonna
face the
steal
floods like they do down in Florida and things like that, South Carolina, Louisiana. Your car might just get washed. Your house might get washed away.
Yeah, true.
In the flood. You know, we have flood warnings here in Evansville. You know, where the Ohio River might come up a little bit.
Crest a little bit, right.
I used to live over in one of the little housing areas, housing projects here called Lincoln Estates.
Okay.
You know, but it's built like a bowl almost. It's a circular housing project with a gate where it's kind of concave toward the middle. All the water that's supposed to come in is supposed to drain toward the middle of the housing project. You know what I mean? So it don't flood up to that. But it rained so hard here one year. I think it was about like
too much rain was for
about 10 years ago.
Too much rain for it, wasn't it?
Man, the sewer system couldn't handle all the drainage. That's really when they started that
redoing the system and
all the pipes, around here. Man, it was up. Now imagine the center of the front of my door, compared to where the center drain of the complex was, is about 200 feet.
Okay,
and about a 6 to 7 degree slope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's about from my house, if you do a little geometry like that, from my door to the bottom of that to that, that's about maybe 3 feet worth of water that has to rise from that middle of the complex in order to reach my front door. And that's exactly what happened. The water was so high, it was just cresting under that little rubber crease. Under the door, under the front screen.
Wow. So it was come in.
My car was flooded. I'm glad my car wasn't on. It was up past my front door, the car door, the underpanel of the car door. I'm glad my car was still airtight. It mostly airtight. It didn't flood into the car.
Okay, good.
But it came up, flooded up to the door, and I was like, oh man, we about to get flooded out. We had just brought our family up from New Orleans. They had just got through going through Hurricane Katrina. My grandmother was going through a thing. My mother-in-law and my aunt was going through a thing. He was like, "Are we going through this again?" You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was a real big hassle, but it wasn't that bad. We didn't have to evacuate.
Okay, good deal, bro.
Nothing. The garbage can kind of floated away a little bit. The dumpster, 3 feet of water, that'll carry anything away, but no cars, anything floated, away.
Okay,
no houses floated away, anything like that. But I'm kind of with you. I prefer here in the Midwest, the weather here that we have to deal with. In the Sacrifice, you don't have any beaches, or anything that you can go to. You don't get to see the ocean view or get to see the sunset or the sunrise over the ocean, or have year-round 70+ degree weather, but don't have to deal with no tornado or hurricane. Alligators crawling up the toilets.
What you see?
Man, can you imagine seeing an alligator come up to your front door because it rained too hard?
Yeah, you feel me?
Dude, I would
coming out the swamp. That's crazy.
I would freak out. So if I had to choose my disastrous weather, if I had to choose my weather obstacle, I would go with the snow. Like I always did. I'm a Chicago boy. I prefer hot weather, but when it comes to if I had to choose between rain, earthquakes, snow, or desert heat, I think I'd take the snow. You know what I mean? So
the heat, man, something else, Jack.
Man, I'm telling you, that heat kick. That heat, but one cup of water too little, you're going to pass out.
Pass out, Jack.
So, I think I'll take my chance with the snow. I'll throw me on about 5-6 layers.
Man.
You know what I mean? And walk backwards.
Walk backwards, keep the wind off of you, Jack. I feel
walk backwards in the snow blizzard, in the snowstorm. So, what would you prefer to live? Would you prefer the snow, the rain, the heat, or the snow, the rain, the heat, or the earthquakes. California. That's what
you can't stop that though, because we're on the fall.
You can't stop none of it.
I know we're on a fall though.
You can't stop the rain. You remember I told you that. Bro. You can't stop none of it. When it rains, you can't stop the rain, the hurricane. You can't stop the sun from shining. You can't stop the snow from falling.
Right.
If I had the choice of which one I'm gonna take, I think I'd take the snow.
Yep.
So, let me know what you think. 812-303-5018 Facebook page, facebook.com/live999 WJCB. Urban Revolution Radio with your boy Nino on Live 99. Let me know what you want to hear. 812-303-5018 on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live999 WJCB. Want to say big ups to our independent artist of the week, Tone G, with his hit the road in rotation, only here at Live 99, the only station in the tri-state that plays independent artists. And if you are an independent artist or entrepreneur and want to get your business off the ground and want to get your music heard, hit us up in our email at ninoincognito@gmail.com. We'll give it a listen. If it's on point, we'll show it some love, and you just might be our next independent artist or entrepreneur of the week. Ain't that right, Dave?
That's it, homie.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it. As I in Indiana, also, for some reason, they still refusing to reinstate those unemployment benefits. You know, I mean, the federal law.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
The fight is going on. You know, the Indiana is trying to appeal the decision, the court ruling. You know what I mean? Because the Supreme Court has upheld the ruling,
upheld the law, you know, right? The right thing to do.
And this is what's happening right now. While Indiana is fighting this and not, paying out, are they technically breaking the law?
Yes.
Really?
On a federal level, hell yes.
They're breaking. Okay, and this is where it's coming in because they're filing. They said that they're not going to start paying until the appeals process has been completed, which is actually part of the planning. They're trying to
trying to delay that, and another
possible. Justin Hicks, has put on his Facebook page saying that Court of Appeals Indiana has granted the state an appeal, meaning they will consider stopping a lower court's order to pay benefits. First, it wants the transcripts of the hearing. Then state gets to make a case, and workers' advocates get to make a case. So it could take a while, a couple more weeks, maybe even up to a month before.
And then what's so bad about that? I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or liberal, whatever. If you're hurting, you're hurting.
Yeah.
Holcomb's got to go.
Yeah, these are just small business.
But he's getting his money in his pocket, though.
Business owners trying to force people to go back to work.
Republican business owners.
Now, these are not full-time jobs that they trying to
Right. They're trying to give you part-time jobs where they don't have to pay out any benefits.
$10 or less.
Right.
Want people to
Holcomb got to go, bro.
So but that's what greed. That's what the greed is all about.
Right.
Here,
it is.
So and they're trying to stop. They're trying to pull the delay tactics as much as possible. But in the meantime, I'm believing in myself, that they're actually breaking the law.
I do too.
And can be subject to lawsuit.
And they are going to get sued.
Because there's for its part, it says the Federal Labor Department has confirmed it's talking with the Department of Workforce Development, which is the unemployment division here in Indiana, and reviewing its ongoing litigation. They would not comment on if there was an interest or even an ability to create a benefit pay agreement on their end. DWD, according to the state of Indiana, doesn't even want the money. They don't want
the money because
they're going to force people to go. They're trying to force people to go back to work.
And they're going to fill the position.
To be able to pay their bills with.
Right.
So you have to get 2 or 3 part-time, unbenefited jobs to compensate. Find some
right. And nobody's going to do that. Holcomb's got to go.
That's why a lot of people now are quitting their job. And then, contrary to popular belief, when you quit your job, you do not get unemployment benefits.
Right.
Unless somebody forces you out of your job by making your job so unbearably uncomfortable.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Whether they come with like some racist stuff with you or they put a noose on your desk like that happened before to some people. I mean, it can get crazy. People can make your work environment unbearable. But unless that's the case, if you just quit because you just don't like the job anymore, they're not paying you enough, or you just gonna see you take your chances. You don't get unemployment, let alone get the extra $300.
Right.
So all of that saying people don't want to go to work because they're getting that extra benefit. That's comparing apples to oranges. Because the people who are off because of COVID they were fired from jobs that probably no longer exist anyway.
Right. And so you expect somebody that's made $20-$25 an hour to go down to $10-$15
and start all over again.
It ain't gonna happen.
You know what I mean? I got a 30-year mortgage that I'm kind of 10 years already in, and you want me to start over at $8-9 an hour? You know what I mean? Just like me personally, my other job that I was working for before this, I was getting $15 an hour plus commission. You know what I mean? But due to the COVID shutting down all of the sponsors and everything around it, they could no longer afford to keep me on. So I had to go on unemployment. My son's school closed down. He's special needs. The classroom that was designed to take care of him are closed down because the special needs kids can't, they're not getting vaccinated. They can't get the vaccine yet. So their area had to be, still work, go to school from home. So parents who have these special needs kids can't go back to work because they're taking care of these children. They can't find daycare. They get the daycare closed. And, so it's a whole litany of things that are stopping people who were fired from going back to work. Not people who quit, and that's what they're trying to equate people who quit their jobs and just don't like their jobs. They trying to say that these people are getting unemployed. Right, and it's not. They're comparing apples to bananas. It's not even apples to oranges because at least an orange is round.
Right,
apples to bananas. It's the wrong color, wrong shape, and everything. It's just it's a bad comparison. So Indiana Legal Services, the lawyers representing unemployed workers in the case, say the state is still legally obligated to restart those federal unemployment benefits.
Yes.
And they say the state's ongoing delay is causing irreparable harm to unemployed Hoosiers.
You're right.
I'm 2 weeks behind on my bills right now.
And that's bull, man. That's bull.
So my son is still at home. My special needs boy is still at home. My wife and I are taking back and forth turns of watching him. While she goes to work, I have to be at home watching because she's a frontline worker. She does a home health aide. So she had to be there for the elderly and take care of them. So she had to get her vaccine. There was no. I think the people who had to stay on board during the COVID should have got the bonuses.
Yeah.
They should have got some kind of financial bonus on them. You forcing them not only to take the shot, you forcing them to subject themselves to the COVID-19 vaccine in unmitigated ways.
Right.
They're getting around elderly and young people who are sick and in the hospital, and a compromised immune system. So this whole thing is based around greed. Republicans are mad.
But I don't see what greed they're getting out unless they're getting a kickback for holding off those benefits.
Yeah, every dollar that they don't spend stays in the state budget. They get to redistribute it how they see fit. That's what it is. But
that's against the law. But any interest they get should be returned,
though. This has nothing to do with that. This
but any interest they get off
trying to force people to go back to these low-paying jobs because those are federal benefits that they're refusing.
Right.
It doesn't come out of
But any benefits or interest they get off that should be returned as well as the whole full amount.
Say it again?
Any benefits that they are not benefits, but any interest that they receive off that money that they're not distributing should be all returned.
And this is what it is. They haven't received the money yet. This is what it's saying. They're not even receiving the money from the federal government. The federal government has still got the money in the coffers. The Indiana Treasury is saying, no, we don't want that money.
Okay.
And then that's why they don't have it. That's what they're saying. It's illegal for them to do that because it's law saying that the federal government is giving these people
money. So they ain't come from the state. The money not even come from the state. It's come from a federal level.
From the federal government.
Whole companion game.
They could go around it and have it come straight from the Treasury, which is what Biden is trying to do with these extra
stimulus checks
and all that kind of trying to say if you had taxes taken out of your unemployment check last year when they want to give you that refund back. So they're trying to do as much through the federal system as possible. But these unemployment benefits, that's the tricky part of it. That system is already set up to give these people that money who are on unemployment. Maybe like my actual unemployment benefits ran out after the year. I went past the year, so they put me on the PEUC to collect my PEUC and still be able to continue the benefits. But now that PEUC is discontinued, I get nothing. I don't even just get the regular unemployment that I was getting before, minus the bonus. I don't get anything now. So if people like me are hurt. You know, so we're going to see how the federal government is going to resolve this. They have lawsuits going against the state of Indiana and a couple of like 25 other Republican states who are opting out to not receive those payments from the federal government, which is basically against the law. Because once Congress said, okay, give this money to these people and passed it through the House, and then it went through the Senate and got signed by President Joe Biden,
they must think that Trump is in office. You feel me?
But even then, Trump authorized. I would get a Trump.
Yeah, he did authorize it.
He authorized one of the first ones. They tried to reduce it. He reduced it from 600 to 300.
Right.
You know what I mean? But even then, he continued. So they're even breaking the law that Trump set up for the PEUC.
But,
I mean,
but they're still but these governors that refuse money, they're still getting paid from the state, though.
You know, so they try to act like it's state money when it's not state money. They're just refusing the federal money right now and forcing people to try to go back to these low-paying jobs that it's not going to be paying, enough in the first place with no benefit. So what do you think on? Do you think the state of Indiana is breaking the law and can be sued civilly, or is it just a legal procedure that they have to go through with the appeals before they're being forced to have to give those unemployment benefits back out? Let me know. 812-303-5018 on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live999. WJCB. Yo, and that will do it for this edition of Urban Revolution Radio with your boy Nino. Hope you had just as much fun as I did. Did you, D?
Man, been a blast as usual, bro.
Man, made it over the hump one more again. Got 2 days left in this short work week. But I mean, it was kind of a regular work week.
Yeah, regular work week.
We was on Monday. We didn't take Monday off. So it's a regular work week for us, but you can get to check back in with us tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, from 8 until 10 for Urban Revolution Radio with your boy Nino and D Hicks, where we'll have our independent artist of the week, Tone G, in rotation with Hit the Road, his newest single, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. And if you are an independent artist or entrepreneur and want to get your voice heard here on Urban Revolution Radio, all you have to do is hit us up in our email at ninoincognito@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on with a clean MP3 version of your song. And if it's on point, we will show it some love. And that will do it for today's show. You got anything else you want to add, D?
No, sir. It's all good.
All right. Well, if that'll do it, we'll kick back in with you tomorrow. It's been a blast. We'll see you. Peace.